Hello and welcome to the Department of Basic Education TV News on OpenView Channel 122 and on YouTube. This is your weekly news roundup of what's been happening in the education sector. My name is Tshegohatso Moagi. Thank you for choosing the DBE channels. In the news this week, we follow the Deputy Minister after she received the COVID-19 vaccine. We sit down with the former Police Commissioner, General Riah, Phiyega, who now runs an organization that focuses on creating safe spaces for South Africans, especially learners in schools. In this bulletin, you'll also get to hear from candidates who are part of the Second Chance program. They are currently writing the May-June exams, which began last week. Reading should definitely be a habit. This is the message not just from the department, but communities too. A school in Tembisa has received a much-needed donation in a form of a mobile library. It is hoped that the donation will make reading resources accessible to learners in that community. You get to have your say too during this show by sharing your thoughts with us on our Twitter page at DBE_SA, Facebook DBESA, and Instagram DBESA. You can use the hashtag DBE News. Let's take a look at our top stories. Deputy Minister Dr. Riah urges teachers over 60 to register for the COVID-19 vaccine. The Safer South Africa Foundation says more proactive measures in schools are needed, and second chance candidates sit for the May-June exams. The Minister for the Department of Basic Education, Angie Motshekga, says she supports the calls for all teachers to be vaccinated as a matter of urgency. She was speaking in Tembisa after receiving her COVID-19 vaccine. She received the Pfizer jab and is expected to return for her second after 21 days. Government has urged those 60 years and older to register for the vaccine and ensure they get the jab.
I fully agree with that. I've raised it with Cabinet long ago. You know, last year we lost scores of teachers through the virus, and we lost some of our most experienced people. You remember we lost an SD of the Eastern Cape, very competent person. We lost the president of NAT. We lost lots of people in the sector. So I've been really working or raising the issue with the Minister of Health, who's very supportive. I've raised it in Cabinet. Cabinet is very supportive. There are plans to make sure that not only teachers, your frontline workers, your teachers, your police, your home affairs people who are in the front line, so they are being prioritized. As soon as the plan is complete, then the minister will announce. But there's complete support for it in government.
She added that the decision for all primary school learners to return to full attendance was necessary and that the sector was preparing to welcome the learners as planned. The minister adds that the department will, however, be guided by the COVID-19 infection rate and by scientists and doctors they consult with.
They are very sensitive also to issues of health. If for some reason, by the 26th, there are indications that there are problems, we will not force to open the way we did in January. We were set to open 2 weeks before, but when we saw that there were high infections, we stalled two weeks later. So we will not force issues if there are indications. But in the meantime, we've put the date, we've gazetted it, we're preparing towards it, but we'll be guided by your coronavirus testing, by health, but also the reality on the ground. But we are confident, we have 2 months ahead of us, and it will be able to guide if indeed we can proceed or we should proceed. But it is a definite date. So stone, I don't know, but it is a definite date we're working on.
Minister Motshekga has urged those who are over the age of 60 to vaccinate as part of fighting the coronavirus.
We are told that we are in a category which is a category of highly vulnerable people. And having been through COVID myself and a very vicious attack, I will advise any other person that when the opportunity presents itself, they must take advantage of it. It's a very difficult disease. It can be extremely problematic. So if there's anything that they should do, it's to take advantage of this opportunity to be vaccinated. It's very important.
And she wasn't alone to receive her jab.
I have my 90-year-old mother with me. I have my sister. I have my husband. So it is indeed a family outing.
Deputy Minister of the Department of Basic Education, Dr. Riah, has urged teachers and citizens who are over 60 years to register and get the COVID-19 vaccine. Mahaule received her Pfizer jab in Pretoria on Africa Day. She is due to get the second dose after 21 days. The Department of Health is currently rolling out phase 2 of the vaccine program, which includes citizens who are 60 years and older. Dr. Mahaule's vaccination is part of government's efforts to encourage South Africans to take the jab as a measure against the coronavirus.
I know that in the department we have more than 18,000 teachers who are over 60 years old. So I'm making a clarion call to all of them that let them register and let them come and vaccinate. They must not be afraid. They must not listen to all the negativity that other people are saying. We are encouraging them. It's for their health, not for somebody's health and the health of their loved ones. So we are calling upon all our 18.4 thousand teachers to come and vaccinate, and we are calling upon those young teachers to remind the elderly teachers to say, please, have you registered? If they are unable to register, let's help them. And I'm also calling upon young people, the learners in our schools. If you know that you have a granny, you have a grandfather who is over 60, your parents are over 60, please help them to register to come and vaccinate. It is important for the lives of all South Africans.
She has cautioned, however, that we must all continue to always follow the COVID-19 safety protocols.
What I can say, even myself, now that I have vaccinated, I just received my first dose, I will still come for my second dose, which is what I'm encouraging all those that will come, to come even for the second dose if you have to. So I'm saying the fact that I have vaccinated, it doesn't mean that I can just live otherwise and move around without a mask on my face. So we still practice all the non-pharmaceutical initiatives. We wash our hands, we sanitize our hands, we put a face mask, and don't overuse your mask. If it's washable, wash it in the evening. When you sleep in the morning, use a clean mask. Because what is important is people to use a clean mask every day, or change it. When you sweat, change your mask and wash your hands frequently. We should not say that now that we are vaccinated, then we live a free-flow life. No, we're still under danger. We must still protect ourselves and protect those that we are living with.
We will be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
As you return to school in the COVID-19 environment, this is what you need to know. On your way to school, keep your mask on at all times. Avoid touching surfaces, but also try not to touch your face, nose and eyes. Remember to wash your hands with soap for at least 20 seconds regularly. It would be nice, but please don't hug your friends. Avoid sharing stationery and your books, but if you really have to, always talk to your teacher first about it. And don't ever share your mask. Your mask is your safety. Your mask is your health. When you get home, take off your mask and wash it with warm water and soap. Stay safe and remember to keep washing your hands. Play safe, work safe. Let's beat the coronavirus together.
Welcome back. You are watching DBE TV channel on OpenView on 122 and on YouTube. Thanks for staying with us. Now imagine a safer South Africa. Well, that is the aim of the Safer South Africa Foundation. The foundation was established to mobilize under-resourced communities to create awareness and ability to work together in the fight against crime. CEO of the foundation, General Riah, Phiyega, says there is a lot of reactive interventions when young people commit crime. But the foundation seeks to be more proactive to warn the youth about the implications of involvement in criminal activity.
From Safer South Africa Foundation, we argue that there is another level of intervention that needs to be enhanced, which is where the community comes in, and we are ardent believers of the fact that we will never be able to defeat crime in this country until the community fully comes into the party. And they come into the party in various ways. From our side, we then talk about prevention, which is a proactive intervention mechanism.
The foundation runs programs in schools to encourage learners between grade 8 and 11 to make good choices about their lives and not to be tempted by crime. One of these is the Communities and Justice Program, which is offered in schools throughout the country. There are provincial coordinators who are retired people from the Justice Cluster who assist in this program by going to various schools, interact with the principals, and together work to enroll about 100 learners into the program.
Those 100 learners, every day after school, there will be a 2-hour session, and these officials, we don't teach. It is the police themselves, it is the traffic themselves, it is NPA themselves, it is the magistrate themselves, and we all ask them to say, please be clad in your uniforms, because we are also creating that relationship of trust between the learners with these officials. We are also having another benefit because it becomes a career development, whatever they start understanding, oh, to become a prosecutor, this is what it means, look at him, and they can talk to the prosecutor, they can ask questions, they can talk to the correctional service officer who says to them, don't come to my hotel, I don't want you there. It's a hotel that you shouldn't make an appointment with. But to become who I am, this is what we do.
But what more is offered in this program to ensure learners make the right choices or even change their behavior?
We've chosen two areas, in fact, let me say 3, where we do experiential learning, because the police will have 2 sessions. It's an academic program, and then there is somewhere where they teach them how do you get arrested, what are your rights, and all those type of things. Then we've chosen the court as another experiential area. Over and above, the magistrate come into class to teach them on a completely different day. We arrange a day for them to spend a day in court. If it is not a full court, the court arranges a full day for them to do a mock trial. They become the victims, they become the judges, they become the prosecutors, because then they start learning that, oh, there is a lawyer for the victim who is the prosecutor, I see. And there's another lawyer who comes from outside. That lawyer who you pay for is a lawyer for the perpetrator. They learn. They would spend a whole day in court doing the mock trial or being in court. The magistrates are very kind to us in most instances. They invite them when they are juvenile cases. Then they are able to learn more, to say, I really do not want to be there. I want to be elsewhere. The other area where we do experiential learning, the correction service will come and do a session with them at school, but on a completely different day. They are in their uniforms, in a car, they spend a day in jail, in a correctional center, to see how it works, to observe the teaching, where they're teaching them, their cells, and all those issues.
The Basic Education Department has embarked on a campaign to address the dangers of bullying with learners. They have also partnered with various other government departments, including the Department of Social Development, the Justice Department, and the South African Police Service. The first visit was to the Orange Farm area, led by the Deputy Minister. But does General Phiyega think this is a good idea?
I think it's the right thing to do, but they could, I do believe that we could join hands with the department, for instance, with bullying, emerging as a big problem in schools. One of the things we're looking at is to get all these partners that we're having to say, from a policing point of view, we would like you to give a spotlight on bullying. What does it mean? Is it a crime? And how do we educate the learners that we are encountering on those matters? NPA, when you now assess the docket and starting to look at the weight of creating a court-ready docket for the magistrate? What are the things you'd be looking into? And what would you do in your lesson to also ensure that when you teach children, you touch on those aspects? So all of them, including right through to the correctional service, would like them to start looking at that particular issue and emphasize it so that we start supporting what the department is doing. It's one thing for them to do roadshows, it's another also for the teachers to be trained and to teach those elements. It's another thing for us to also add onto the fruit salad by emphasizing what is going, what can be done on issues of bullying. I just think everything must come on board so that we create education, awareness, and internalize, the whole issue around bullying.
So, does General Phiyega think in the future the country will be a safe place for all?
Let's invest also in proactive. The Department of Education is well positioned to work with partners in that space, to work with communities in that space. And we are willing to be part of that, to join so that we can squeeze this. We do deserve a country that you're talking about, where we can walk freely, be comfortable as a nation, and it is possible. But we have to ensure that there is a good balance between reactive and proactive interventions.
You are watching DBE TV News on Open View 122. We will be back in a short while.
I am a nurturer, like you.
Real men stand against gender-based violence.
I get hurt, like you.
If I am a victim of violence, I too will not be ashamed to report violence and abuse.
I hate it when someone violates me, like you.
In a violent situation, there is power in walking away. I will not take part in fights at school.
All I want is to feel safe, to feel loved, and to be free to show love, like you.
I cry when I'm hurt, because to feel is to be human. I pledge to be more open about my emotions.
Make it part of the new normal for young boys to be nurtured and loved, to freely express themselves and to show love in a safe, inclusive way. We have different gender identities, but first, we are human. If you need assistance to help your child, contact Childline on 08000 55 555.
Thank you for staying with us. Go for it. That's the message from candidates who are part of the department's Second Chance program. They are currently sitting for their May-June exams, which began on Wednesday, 26 May. This is a chance for all those who have either failed to meet the requirements of the National Senior Certificate or unsatisfied with their matric results or would like to obtain the matric certificate to get a second chance at writing their exams. Here are some more details.
This is one of the classrooms at the Mamelodi Teachers Centres, accommodating those who will be rewriting their matric. The global COVID-19 pandemic has made things difficult for the centre, but with the support of the community, their passion and dedication, the people working here have managed to teach these candidates and help them reach their fullest potential.
So what we did with my colleagues, we talked to our neighboring high school, Pateng Secondary School, to assist us, because we cannot just cut the number of learners that we have to say that because of space and because of COVID-19, we have to go beyond that. And then in order to accommodate all of them, because some of the subjects, there are more. So you find that 60-something learners, you can't put them in one room, because from here at the center, I've got only one room that can accommodate them. And also some of the rooms that we are using is from the environmental center. And we negotiated to Pateng Secondary School so that the classes that they are not utilizing to assist us to accommodate our learners.
The centre also had to take other measures to ensure learning and teaching takes place despite the pandemic.
We had to employ other teachers on top of those we had. especially last year. For instance, in mathematics, math lead, there were 2 teachers, but because the numbers were high, we had to get another 3 teachers. And also in economics, we had to get another teacher to help Mr. Patlani. And then life science also, we had to get 2 teachers extra, that is Lokwati and Ramasetla, because the numbers were high there. And because of social distance, we had to employ extra teachers.
Maluleke says the department has promised it will look into assisting the center with mobile classrooms.
What they have assisted us is because from this center I'm having only 1 cleaner, and so what they have assisted us is to provide us with people who can assist to clean those classes. Remember, it's COVID-19, we cannot compromise that. It needs to be sanitized, it needs to be cleaned. So DBE, they've assisted us on that, giving us cleaners and also the toilet papers to assist during this program, and also ensuring that the issue of mobile classes will be looked at in the near future.
Besides COVID-19, this year the center was faced with other challenges.
Unfortunately, you see, with these learners, once you give them material, some of them, they disappear, they don't come to the center once more, and to retrieve the material, it's a problem. We cannot get these learners. Hence, this year we are having a shortage of material.
Most of these learners have decided to take this program in order to improve their marks and qualify for a particular course they want to study at an institution of higher learning. So, how has the program been for them?
Amazing. Amazing. I feel like the time that we get is enough because of we did this thing previously. So it is not something new. All you have to do is you have to go home and study. You have to study hard. So it is easy.
It's been going well because you can ask, you have a chance of talking directly to a teacher without, we are more free than the pressure we were experiencing at school.
I don't want to say it was difficult or it was easy. It was kind of average. The only thing is that we don't really get a lot of time with our educators. I feel like we should be able to, get as much time as possible, because if we couldn't get the marks that we wanted last year, we might as well get extra time so that we could improve the marks.
The classes have been very helpful, and now I understand many things better because I get more chance to communicate with the teacher. After a lesson, I can go and ask for help.
So what do these learners want to study in tertiary education?
I've always wanted to be a pilot, but because of the COVID-19, I wanted to take the military route. So because of the COVID-19 and everything, applications for that have been put on hold. So then I decided that I might as well upgrade my marks, improve them if I can, so that I could apply for bursaries, because private institutions are quite pricey.
I wanted to be a psychologist or a lawyer, but I'm good with English, so I wanted to be a writer. I have this talent that I can do poet, I can write. I was one of the best when it comes to English at my school. So my dreams were so big. When I looked at my statement and compared with the result that they wanted, I was a bit disappointed.
What message would they give to other learners?
I'd say go for it. Instead of you sitting around and trying to get plan B, or if you don't have plan B, it's advisable that you do upgrade your marks in case in the future you find that whatever you have figured out that you want to do requires certain marks or higher marks than you have. At least now you'll take the time to improve your marks so that you can meet requirements for that something that you want to do in the future.
I was always told, Huri, many chances, many people don't get second chances. But with your matric, I mean, you can get a second chance, rewrite, improve your marks, improve your dreams, and yeah, I would recommend that they do it.
Nandika Bukis, Pretoria.
The Tembisa community has been enriched with a mobile library. This is in partnership with Pandrol and the Well of Wisdom Book Club International. The organizations joined forces to aid the National Reading Coalition and the DBE's Read to Lead campaign. The learners at Marulana Primary School in Tembisa will now enjoy the reading resources thanks to generous donations organized by the Well of Wisdom Book Club International. The book club was founded by a former learner at the school.
In a world where children are now exposed to a whole lot of things such as social media, the digital world, and also having to play TV games and all, we just wanted to introduce reading in a fun way and basically just to take them away from all those distracting things that are taking most of their time. So we just wanted to make reading enjoyable for them by introducing this mobile library.
What was the idea behind having a mobile library in the community?
Things are changing, basically, and we've just seen a need to move around the whole area of Tembisa for now, and then later on we want to go across the whole province, Gauteng. So with the mobile library, it will be easy to move from one place to another, because in the past we used to give out books and they would stay in schools, and when we come back we'd find that the books have not been read, So I think the mobile library will give us that flexibility and we will be able to reach out to more learners.
This initiative has been welcomed by the community and the school.
As we receive this gift, the mobile library, that is going to help us a lot, because since we've got COVID, our learners are suffering because we don't have enough spaces around the schoolyard where we can say this is our library. We've utilized all the classes as part of COVID regulation. We are running short of those classes. Now, as this gift today, we are so blessed to have it, because I already know when they're going to use it. 7:30 in the morning, when you do drop all and read, we're going to utilize it. During breaks, I'm no more going to eat 30 minutes, I'm going to eat 10 minutes. I'll be in the library with them, because that's one of the things that I love, reading. It's part of what we do every day as teachers.
That brings us to the end of this week's weekly news roundup on Channel 122 on OpenView and on YouTube. Tell your friends and family about us. If you have stories to share or news you want us to cover, don't hesitate to make contact. Find us via our social media platforms using the hashtag DBE News. Until next time, it's goodbye from myself, Tsehoha Jomoachi, and the DBE TV News team.